Hello friends, we are back. Today is 31st December 2021. Today is the last day of this year. So, hope you are enjoying our videos. We are uploading the Hindu newspaper reading with some important news with the editorials in detail. So let's start with the first page of the Hindu. Our topmost news are Congress scores big in Karnataka civic polls, wins 501 seats. Good. PM puts off UAE visit due to surge in Omicron cases. Sri Lankan Minister Basil Rajapaksa to visit India in January. India registers a comprehensive win to go 1-0 up against South Africa. Okay, let's discuss in brief news. Not allowed to board pupil vandalized bus. A group of pupil and a police officer sustained injuries when commuters blocked MB Road in Delhi and damaged a few DTC buses on Thursday after not being allowed to board them due to the passenger limit under the new COVID-19 guidelines. Yes, new COVID-19 guidelines uh, have been announced by Delhi government for Delhi people. Like up 50% of pupil can travel in metro or DTC bus to to stop the spread of COVID-19. Next news is Kejriwal leads victory march in Chandigarh. We have already seen in yesterday also. Delhi Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal on Thursday led the party's victory march in Chandigarh after it emerged as the single largest party by winning 14 seats in the recent concluded municipal corporation elections. Fourth, Punjab deliberately not arresting Majority leader of the opposition in Punjab Assembly and Aam Aadmi Party MLA Chima on Thursday accused the Congress government of deliberately not arresting former minister and Shiromani Akali Dal leader Vikram Majithia, who is facing the charges of illicit drug trade. Okay, let's cover most important news. Decision on vaccine for precaution dose soon. Anti-AGI accessing safety of all vaccines available ICMR chief. Train passengers waiting for RT-PCR test in Bhopal on Thursday. The precaution dose to be given to healthcare workers, frontline workers, and those over 60 with comorbidities may not necessarily be a repeat dose. Senior Union Home Minister officials said on Thursday. A decision will be taken this week. The National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization anti-AGI as well as other bodies are assessing the available data on the safety and efficacy of all the vaccines globally, and there are meetings every day. Before January 10, we will have a set of clear cut guidelines on what the recommended vaccine could be. Balram Bhargava, Director General, Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR), said at a press briefing. The debate on third dosage comes amid a spike in infection in India, with the number of daily cases crossing 10,000 and several states suggesting that it is due to the Omicron variant. Registration for the third dose and also Covaxin for those in the 15 to 17 age group is set to commence on January 1st, according to guidelines issued by the Health Ministry. This week, the key factors under consideration are, are the intended receipts and the supply of the vaccine. Dr. Bhargava said the vaccine expansion program plans to give the precaution dose 39 weeks, 9 months after the second dose. India has approved under emergency use authorization Covishield, Covaxin, Sputnik V, Corbevax, and Covivax. India Health Ministry notes sudden rise in cases in several cities. India reported 13,154 COVID-19 cases on Thursday, with 961 of them confirmed to be of the Omicron variant. At a press briefing, your Union Health Ministry official expressed concern over the sudden rise in cases in several cities. Officers signaled out six states Maharashtra, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, Karnataka, and Gujarat. As of particular concerns, Kerala and Maharashtra continue to amount for nearly half the cases. Okay. Another important news is Parties against putting off UP election, said CEC. Guidelines on rallies after announcing polls, said Chandra. Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra. Who is the Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra? With Election Commissioners Rajiv Kumar, Election Commissioner, Chief Election Commissioner Suresh Chandra, and Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar left, and Anup Chandra Pandey in Lucknow on Thursday. All political parties in Uttar Pradesh were in favor of conducting the 2022 Uttar Pradesh Assembly election on schedule following COVID-19 protocol. Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra said on Thursday. However, guidelines on how big election rallies would be managed or whether digital communication would have to be increased would be issued after the election schedule was announced. He said that Mr. Chandra was speaking at a press conference after a review meeting with the representatives of various political parties and top offices at Uttar Pradesh. All parties told us elections should be held on time following COVID-19 protocols, said Mr. Chandra, adding that some suggested restricting the number and size of rallies despite SC appeal. High, amid rising cases of COVID-19, the Allahabad High Court had recently appealed to the Election Commission of India (EC) as well as Prime Minister Narendra Modi to immediately ban rallies and public meetings of political parties and consider postponing the assembly election, stressing that it was more important to save lives. Mr. Chandra said the ECI would take cognizance of the court's appeal, but said directive guidelines would be issued once election was announced. He said the COVID-19 situation was dynamic. Okay. AFSPA, AFSPA, AFSPA extended in Nagaland. The Armed Forces Special Powers Act had been extended in Nagaland for another 6 months by Union Home Ministry. A ministry notification on Thursday said the central government is of the opinion that the area comprising the whole of the state of Nagaland is in such a disturbed and dangerous condition that the use of armed forces in aid of the civil power is necessary. In exercise of powers conferred under Section 4 of the Act, the central government hereby declares the whole of the state of Nagaland to be disturbed area for a period of 6 months with effect from 30 December 2021. For the purpose of the said act, it stated the last extension was made on 30th June. China issued names for 15 places in Arunachal. This is also important news. China's Ministry of Civil Affairs said on Thursday it had issued standardized names for 15 places in Arunachal Pradesh to be used henceforth and official Chinese maps, part of broader recent moves by Beijing to step up its territorial claims. India's Ministry of External Affairs said the move by Beijing does not alter the fact that Arunachal Pradesh is an integral part of India. This is not the first time China has attempted such a renaming of places in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. China has also sought to assign such names in April 2017. Spokesperson Arindam Bakshi said, Arunachal Pradesh has always been and will always be an integral part of India. Assigning invented names to places in Arunachal Pradesh doesn't alter this fact. Okay. Disruption of Christmas event, unfortunately, said Haryana CM. Actually, we are saying this news on day-to-day basis. Yesterday also, the day before yesterday also, we have seen an article on this disruption of Christmas event that for like that news. So today also is another news on the same topic. Let's cover this. What is the progress on this? He said the attack in Patodi should not have happened. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal on Thursday termed unfortunate the recent disruption of Christmas celebration at a private school in Patodi by a group raising pro-Hindu slogans. It should not have happened, and there was no reason to support such incidents. He said on the campaign by Hindu groups to prevent namaz in some public sports in Gurugram, he stuck to his public stand that making namaz a show of strength is not appropriate and that community members should sit with the administration and sort out the issue. Sit and hold talks. Mr. Lal was interacting with members of the Indian woman press corps in New Delhi and answering questions on attack on Christmas celebration. It is an unfortunate incident. It is not right to interrupt any function. The Hindus groups should either object before or after the function. If there are any apprehensions, they can be resolved. People of all groups should sit and talk. There are peace committee as well, he said. On the namaz issue, he observed, I cannot say if the incidents in Gurugram were avoidable or not. People from both sides should sit with the administration, making namaz so of strength is not appropriate. Even if people have to pray in the open, it should be a designated spot for people of every group. There is a process to get permission to hold their function in open. People of both groups should sit together and decide what should be done. Mr. Lal also differentiated between those who in initiated farmer protest against the farm laws and those who supported the state. Okay. Motorists and commuters navigate a flooded road in Chennai and heavy rain on Thursday evening. Okay. In cold, there is also a raining season. Chennai reeling underwater. God man held for insulting Mahatma. Yeah, this is a trending news. Chhattisgarh police on Thursday arrested self-styled godman Kali Charan Maharaj from Khajuraho in Madhya Pradesh 3 days after an FIR was filed against him for allegedly insulting Mahatma Gandhi and praising assa- praising his assassin Nathuram Godse. The remarks were made at a religious conclave in Raipur. He had moved into a rented house to evade arrest. He would be taken back to Chandigarh and produced in court, said a police officer. The case was filed on a complaint by Congress leader Pramod Dubey. Can't put curbs on Ganga Sagar Mela, Mamta. Workers carry a makeshift changing room during preparations for the Ganga Sagar Mela in Kolkata on Thursday. Planned to have COVID-19 testing facilities at all entry point. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee on Thursday said the state government could not stop or impose restrictions on the Ganga Sagar Mela. Lakhs of pilgrims assemble on the Sagar Island in the state's south 24 Pragnach district on the occasion of Makar Sankranti to take a dip where the Ganga meets the sea. This is not a government festival, it is a public event. People come from different parts of the country. How will I stop people who will be coming from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar? Mrs. Banerjee said she was speaking to journalists after visiting the Sagar Island over the past 3 days. She held an administrative meeting and took stock of the preparations of the gathering scheduled in the second week of January. Why are you interested in only Ganga Sagar Mela and ask Kumbh Mela? She told journalists when asked about the state government's plan for the event. The remarks come at a time when the union government has said West Bengal and others were emerging as states of concern for the outbreak of COVID-19. South 24 Pragnaj Magistrate P. Ulang Nathan said the administration has plans to have COVID-19 testing facilities at all the entry points of Sagar Island during the festival. He said about 20 lakh people will participate in the Mela. The chief minister said COVID-19 infections are on the rise and assured that the state government is seriously reviewing the situation. She, however, said the pandemic-related restrictions cannot be imposed across the state because of the adverse effect on the economy and the livelihood of the people. Flights to be suspended. Mrs. Banerjee said the spike in the cases related to the Omicron variant is because of foreign returnees and urged the center to impose some restrictions. Most Omicron cases are being detected among people coming on flights from the UK. The center must decide on imposing restrictions on flights from countries where the cases are high. Later in the day, Home Secretary BP Gopalika wrote a letter to Secretary Ministry of Civil Aviation Rajiv Bansal informing the state government decision to suspend until further orders all direct flight from the UK to Kolkata with effect from January 3. Further, with effect from January 3, all passengers coming from other non-at-risk countries by international flights in West Bengal will have to mandatorily undergo a test on arrival at their cost. The letter said the number of COVID-19 infections has doubled within 24 hours. The health department said 2,128 infections and 12 deaths were recorded on Thursday. The number of new infections on the Wednesday was 1,089 and 12 people died of it. The positivity rate was 2.84% on Wednesday, which jumped to 5.47% on Thursday. Okay. Another important news is Odisha radio tax rescued Indian pangolin. It It is the state's first attempt to standardize rehabilitation protocol for the animal. A rescued pangolin fitted with a radio tag behind released into the wild in Odisha. The Odisha Forest and Environment Department has completed its first ever radio tagging of the Indian pangolin in an attempt to standardize the rehabilitation protocol for the animal in the state. The Forest Department said a male pangolin which was rescued by the Paralekha Mundi Forest Division last month was radio tagged and released in the Nandaka Nandankanan Wildlife Sanctuary. After treatment, the department said the animal would be tracked using a Yagi antenna and receiver. To standardize the rehabilitation protocol for such rescued animals, a radio-tagged Indian pangolin was released into the wild in Nandankanan Wildlife Sanctuary following soft release protocols and provisions for post-release monitoring, the department said. Month-long quarantine. The animal was screened for parasites and diseases during a month-long quarantine at a Nandankanan Zoological Park (NZP), which is the only conservation breeding center for Indian pangolins in the world. The center was established in 2019 to standardize the protocol for housing and husbandry of the endangered species. The center has so far bred 10 animals in captivity, the department said. Pangolin was found suitable for release in the wild. It gained 70 80 grams during quarantine and now weighs 14.740 kg. It is exhibiting normal behavior. It is fitted with a VHF, very high frequency radio transmitter, weighing 0.5% of its body weight, procured from advanced 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 telemetry system specialized in radio telemetry instruments. And NJP official said after Madhya Pradesh, Odisha is the second state in the country to release a radio-tagged Indian pangolin into the wild. NJP authorities said the exercise was expected to reveal valuable information on the ecology, dispersal pattern, home range, and survival of the reclusive animal. Most of what is known of the ecology and behavior of the species has come out of research carried out at the center. The Forest Department said pangolins are the most illegally traded mammals in the world, and the Indian pangolin is the largest among eight pangolin species. The nocturnal animal lives in burrows and feed on ants and termites. In Odisha, seizures of pangolins and their skills have been made over the past few years. However, information is limited on their rehabilitation protocol. So we have covered first page of the Hindu. So let's cover some important news. MBBS student found dead in hostel room. Note found victims' phone seized. Okay. Not allowed to board. Commuters vandalized buses. Restricted seating arrangements triggered chaos. Police officer among those injured in the ensuing ruckus in South Delhi. A man stabbed to death in Simapuri to arrested. Incidents video viral on social media. Four held for kidnapping 2-year-old. Security tightened in the city ahead of New Year. Strict action to be taken against violators. Okay. Omicron is spreading in community, but symptoms are mild, said Jan. 54% of cases are of new variant. For COVID center created for international flyers. Over 3,200 beds to be set up for children requiring treatment. Occupancy of COVID beds has grown gradually this month. And city police revised SOP as cases rise. Delhi government orders 42 lakh antigen kits move to help boost COVID-19 testing capacity and fresh spike in infection. Landmark court ruling during the pandemic. As the year comes to close, we recall some significant judgments of the Delhi High Court that made headlines and impacted our daily lives. HC High Court virtual hearings to resume from January 3. Civic Hospital building a disaster and waiting of trying to create ruckus. CHBJP. Okay. State activist Sudha Bharadwaj seeks NIA court's note to shift to Thane. Submit affidavit of the person with whom you wish to live. Kejriwal leads victory march in Chandigarh. We have already seen this news in first page of today's. Today's Hindu newspaper. Delhi Chief Minister promises to live up to the expectation of people. 24 VCs named without my note. Bengal governor will be forced to act unless recalled. Okay. And Congress scores big in Karnataka civic polls. It wins 501, BJP 433, and JDU 45 of 1,184 seats. Okay, Telangana farmers cut down paddy cultivation. TMC stresses on clean image, vulnerability for selection of candidates. Polling for four corporations on January 22. Okay, after prosecutor quiets court adjourns trial of actor assault case, Anil Kumar resigns alleging congenial atmosphere in court. Churchgoers denied right to attend mass, moved prejudicial to Christmas. KPCC chief HC refugee plea against book demeaning Islam. Okay, firm booked for 82.94 crore rupee bank fraud. Mumbai on alert for possible terror strike. Police have beefed up the security at railway station and other public places. Karnataka outfits withdraw ban call after talks with CM, but Nagaraj says there will be only protest for ban on MES. Okay. Kerala governor remains firm on abdicating chancellorship. He says issue of national dignity involved. Jump tantrum, Sikh policeman, an elephant and its scarf attacked Parambiculam police station for 30 minutes. Okay. So without wasting our time, let's cover the editorial page. First news is killing the license. The government must give a more transparent accounts of its actions against NGO. We are already seeing this news is a trending news and almost on daily basis a new article is getting published regarding NGOs and their registrations. Okay, let's cover Mother Teresa. Okay, missionary NGO. If the past few years of enhanced measures against non-government organizations and NGOs operating in India had not put enough of squeeze on them, then the Ministry of Home Affairs' long drawn out process of scrutinizing their foreign funding license by year end is just sure to do so. Close on the heels of the news that the Missionaries of Charity Group had been denied a renewal of its license under the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010 amendment in 2020 comes the revelation that more than four-fifths of the applicants of the 22,000 plus NGOs that have sought renewal have yet to be scrutinized. Unless the government extends the deadline by midnight, all of them stand to lose their ability to access international funding in the new year. As experts have explained, the NGOs have to prove not only the source of funding and their usage of the funds is approved, but also establish that their work does not qualify as harmful to public interest or national security. Ambiguous terms that are left to MH officers to define. So, as many as 2,000 NGOs under scrutiny may be denied a renewal of their FCRA license as the missionary of charity, and its roughly 200 homes around the country have been in this round. Contrary to the government's defense that it is only following accounting and audit procedure, it seems clear that organizations that have particularly faced the Modi government's era are those that work in specific sensitive areas: pollution, climate change issue, human rights, child labor, and human slavery, health and religious NGO, particularly Christian and Islamic charities. Prominent names among nearly 20,000 NGOs to have lost their foreign funding licenses in 2014 include Amnesty International, Greenpeace India, People's Watch, European Climate Foundation, Commission International, and the Gates Foundation backed Public Health Foundation of India. If the government has ample evidence to prove that Indians are better off without the work of of these internationally renowned organizations, then it has yet to show it. It is time the government gives a more transparent account of its action against NGO, which at present appear to mirror those in China and Russia, which have used their NGO laws to shut down dissent and criticism. The actions in India over foreign hand concerns seem more hypocritical given the relative age with which Political parties are able to access foreign funds for their campaigns through electoral bonds under the same FCRA that seeks to restrict funds to NGOs. At a time when India is facing the creeping effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and a long-term economic crisis, the government's moves that have resulted in an estimated 30% drop in international non-profit contributions only hurt the poorest and most vulnerable receipts of philanthropic efforts, particularly those by NGOs working in areas where government aids fails to reach. Good. Let's cover second duty of editorial. Ground to dust. England's failure to make a contest of the Aces spotlights its cricket structure. Ever since the maiden test at Melbourne during March 1877, cricketing history always had a special place for the Ashes, the series that involves England and Australia, the rivals from that inaugural the series nomenclature Ashes was coined by a British newspaper in 1882, and that term and the trophy, the urine have become part of sporting folklore. England lost the 1877 game and cut to the present. Old Blighty suffered defeat yet again at Melbourne to hand over the current assets at 0-3 to host Australia, while two tests still remain in the series. The juxtaposition of history and the present may seem like a one-way street, but the assets remains far from it, with Australia having won 34 and England 32 through a series that has attended a mythical proportions over the decades. However, recent history would vouch for Australia's dominance, with the assets being snapped up in 2017 and 2019. The latest result that favors the former colony, while the mother country is resigned to eating humble pie. The three defeats in consecutive tests have shown England in poor light. The will to fight seems to have declined, and Joe Root's men have been tagged as the worst tourist to land in Australia. And it has been pointed out all that host needed was just 12 days to seize the urine. They have been times when England looked anemic, especially in the contests in the 1980s against the marauding West Indians. To those tales of ignominy, cricket's birthplace has added the latest chapter. England's batting has leaned on Root, while his colleague fell with the tentative feet, itchy hands, and an inspired mind. With the batters failing, England's attack has struggled to mount pace, and when the bowlers did strike, with James Anderson playing his 39 summers and clocking a mastery spell in Melbourne, the England batters failed to offer support, and Australia won by an innings and 14 runs. Due debutant Scott Boland 6 for 7 in the second innings for the retreated Australia talent base and its strong domestic structure, while England was left to ponder about its county circuit. That an injured Josh Hazlewood was not missed spoke volumes about the inherent strengths within the SC pace pack. Poland, so that at 32, Hope could still float for the committed athlete that he is the second after Jason Gillespie to emerge from the Aboriginal community to turn out for the Australian men's test team. Also revealed cricket democratic footprint before the series. Australia seemed unsettled, having lost its regular captain. Tim Penny to a hushed up scandal, but in Pat Cummins, the Ashes have found a calm skipper, and with England in disarray, the Ashes will stay in the southern hemisphere. Okay. Letters to the editor. Infections again. The rise in COVID-19 infections in several states and the World Health Organization warnings reveal a disturbing situation. Page 1, COVID-19 cases in India start to inch up as Omicron takes over 30 December. While efforts to battle it out are in place, the most important question remain unanswered. Are we doing enough? Have we learned crucial lessons post the COVID 19 outbreak? Are we drifting away from the prime focus and concern? We face a worrying situation. The fear that was there during the first wave has gone. The experience gained from the preceding pandemic babes have failed to sensitize the public. There is a gross violation of social behavior protocol. The government also needs to check the quality of tests done in airports. The second wave spelled a windfall for private health players, and the government should now have in place a viable system of ensuring strict monitoring of their function. We should not become complacent after reports of Omicron being less severe. We must look at the larger picture of the corresponding impacts on livelihoods. Social distancing norms are being forgotten. People are on a traveling spray with no worry about rising cases. All unnecessary travel plans ought to be stopped. Furthermore, in the run up to the assembly election in various states, political parties ought to ensure that rallies are monitored and regulated. True picture needed. Hardly a day passes without news about the rise in COVID-19 cases, especially after Omicron. Therefore, the comment about orders in the report. One minute. Okay, that's furthermore okay. All unnecessary travel plans are to be stopped. Furthermore, in the run-up to the assembly election, various state political parties ought to ensure that rallies are monitored and regulated. Hardly a day passed to picture added without news about the rise in COVID-19 cases, especially after Omicron. Therefore, the comment about orders in the report exporters are flush with orders. If FIO business page December 30 seems far-fetched. All sectors of industry are contracting. Inflation has yet to come down. So it's all well in the export sector. Rating agencies have something different to say. The real picture must emerge. Guess all. Then that a perfume dealer's house in Kanpur was found to be a currency treasure trove. It's something incredible. How did the authority miss such embassing of wealth? What will be the follow-up action now? Will it be a transparent or hushed up as usual? Okay. Okay, let's cover another good news. In an FHS report card, the good, the sober, the future. Its fifth edition has encouraging news for addressing discriminatory social norms must remain top priority. The health system in India has been facing unprecedented stress during the COVID-19 pandemic, which includes the looming Omicron threat now on the horizon. Against the backdrop, the recently released fifth edition of the National Family Health Survey (NFHS) National Family Health Survey 5 brings some positive news. NFHS 5, which presents a bird's eye view of the state of the national health and related development indicators, looks encouraging on several fronts. Population growth is stabilizing, family planning services have improved, and health systems are delivering better. However, it also highlights the need for further improvement to address gender based violence and harmful practices against women and girls, such as child marriages and gender based selection. These have been exacerbated by discriminatory social norms and practices, hindering the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals (SDG) 2030 agenda and India's development goal. Population is stabilizing. The good news is that India's population growth appears to be stabilizing. The total fertility rate, the average number of children born per woman, has declined from 2.2 to 2.0 at the nation level at a total of 31 states and union territories, constituting 69.7% of the country's population, have achieved fertility rates below the to replacement level of 2.1. The main reasons for decline in fertility includes encouraging adoption of modern family planning methods from 47.8% in 2015 to 16 15-16 to 56.5% in 2019 to 21, and a reduction in unmet need for the family planning by 4% points over the same period. This indicates significant improvement in approach to family planning related information and services, increased reach of the health system to more non-US couples with the information about family planning from 18% in 2015-16 to 24% in 2019-21. Furthermore, 62% of current users have received information about the side effects of the contraceptives, a crucial indicator of the improved quality of family planning services. Significant improvements in family literacy, with 41% women have received 10 or more years of schooling compared to 36% in 2015 to 16. Girls have studied longer, have fewer children, and are also more likely to delay marriage and find employment. In other Asian countries, too, fertility decline has taken place alongside notably improvements in access to quality education, especially girls' education. Improved health services, maternal health services are steadily improving, and antenatal care in the first trimester has increased by 11.4 percent points from 2015-16 to 2019-21 to reach 70%. The recommended for antenatal 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 care checkups have increased by 7% points to reach 58.1%, and postnatal care visits have gone up by 15.6% points to reach 78%. Institutes births were assessed by 88.6% of women in 2019-21, marking an increase of 9.8% points from 2015-16. There has also been an increase in institutional delivery and public health facility, 52.1% to 61.9%, demonstrating an improvement in quality of services. The survey indicates a worrisome figure of 11% of pregnant women who were either unreached by a skilled birth attendant or not accessing institutional facilities. Further analysis reveals an institutional delivery rate of under 70% in 49 districts of India. Over two-thirds, 69% of these districts are from five states: Nagaland, Bihar, Meghalaya, Jharkhand, and Uttar Pradesh. Indicating the need for an area specific approach to improving maternal health services. Teenage pregnancy has declined marginally by 1% point, and 7.9% of women in the age group of 15 to 19 years who were already mothers are pregnant at the time of the survey. This highlights the need to invest in comprehensive sexuality education, a key component of life skills education for both in school and out of school adolescents, and ensuring access to quality sexual and relative and reproductive health services for them. A very small segment of the population is currently accessing the full range of sexual and reproductive health services, such as a screening test for, say, for cervical cancer 1.9%, breast examination 0.9%. These services should be included while expanding the basket of reproductive health services. Discriminatory social norms evidence indicates significant progress where women have the right to bodily autonomy and integrity and the ability to take decisions with about their lives. It is heartening to see that the proportion of women aged 15 to 24 years who use menstrual hygiene products has increased by almost 20% points between 2015-16 and 2019 to 721, and currently stands at 77.3%. The proportion of women who have their own bank accounts has gone up by 25.6% points over the same period to reach 78.6%. Around 54% of women have their own mobile phones, and about 1 in 3 women have used the internet. This, coupled with the increase in the proportion of women with more than 10 years of schooling, lays the building blocks for women's empowerment. In the next few years, the combination of mobile technology, banking, education, and women's economic empowerment will be significant drivers to address informal discriminatory norms. To empower women and ensure gender justice, it is imperative to address harmful practices such as child marriage and gender-based sex selection. The prevalence of child marriage has gone down marginally from 26.8% in 2015-16 to 23.3% in 2019-21. Similarly, sex ratio at birth has shown slight improvement from 919 to 929 over the same time period. One in three women continue to face violence from their spouse. Hence, there is a need to enhance the value of women and girls by working on transforming unequal power relations, structural inequalities, and discriminating norms, attitudes, and behaviors. Promote gender equal values. Women's participation in the economy continues to remain low. Only 25.6% women engage in paid work, a major increase of 0.8% point. Women will still bear a disproportionate burden of unpaid domestic and care work, hindering their ability to access gainful employment. This points to the need for engaging with men and boys, particularly in their formative years, to promote positive masculinity and gender equal values. The pace of progress between one NFHS, full form National Family Health Survey, and the next should be accelerated by devising targeted strategies based on specific indicators and regions that are currently lagging. Convergence among multiple stakeholders is critical to bring about the desired change. Together, we must challenge discriminatory social norms that drive gender-based violence and harmful practices and empower women to exercise agency and autonomy in all spheres of life. Women and girls have agency and bodily autonomy. It's not only the foundation for a better future, it is a fundamental human right. Yes. Without wasting your time, let's cover important article. Barriers to a knowledge society in Kerala. While the left's contribution has led to the decline of the university, the Congress role has hit education in general. Even as leaders of the dispensation that presently governs Kerala have repeatedly spoken of their intention of transforming the state into a knowledge society. A public spat broke out between the governor and the chief minister. This concerned the governance of the state's higher education sector. Far from this being seen as a source of embarrassment, it should be welcomed as an opportunity to ensure that the government's ambition is fulfilled, particularly as it comes soon after the Kerala government constituted three commissions to recommend ways to improve higher education, no minor to society. It is customary when discussing the state of higher education in India to wring wring our hands at poorly educated youth devoid of analytical ability and communication skills, lacking in an understanding of India's past, unmindful of their role in the success of democracy, and certified by companies as unemployable. While all of this is applicable to Kerala, arguably the production of employable youth is not the principal task of a university. A society maintains university so that they hold a mirror up to it, in which it is able to discern itself wants and all. It is in this role that Kailash universities feel the most. The state faces challenge on multiple fronts. Its economic future in is tenuous as remittance from West Asia begins to slow. Its ecological security is threatened by the assault on the earth to extract stone for the construction of luxury homes that signal social status. Its record of gender equality is questioned when we see the abysmally poor representative of women in decision-making bodies, itself related to the masculinist culture of its political parties. Its commitment to democracy is moot when religious interest and a small minority of the working class behave with scant regard for those outside their fold. Now, most societies have their vested interest, but they also have independent intellectuals, often based in the university, who call them out. Where is Kailash Noam Chomsky and Medha Patkar? We do not have to agree with them to see how important a role they play in securing the democratic space free of commerce and religious interest and the dictates of political parties. The last time Kerala had one of its own critic, its elites was when Arundhati Roy wrote her debut novel almost a quarter century ago. Predictably, predictably, there had been the response that religious sentiments were hurt by it. A knowledge society can exist only if religious is kept at bay. For historically organized religion has stood on the in the way of in the way of revelation of secular truth, where we may ask our university when it comes to drawing attention to the tenuousness of Kailash economic prospect, its high consumption inequity, its grim ecological future, and its religion and the particular and the patriarchy sodden civic society left's error. Neither of Kailash political fronts has any answer to the pathetic states of its university. A fatal error of the left political parties in Kerala is to have worked to undermine excellence and encourage the illusion of the possibility of unbound material consumption without regard for productivity. It is instructive that Russia, soon after the revolution, was the site of high creativity, both in the arts and agriculture, and its people were encouraged to think of the country as their cherished motherland. Not even Stalin's ruthless suppression of freedom could stamp this out. The Red Army reached Berlin first in 1945, and Khrushchev gave the Americans a fright by sending a human being at outer space. None of this could have been achieved without the concerned application of high intelligence and the expectation that everyone in society pull their weight. This is something decidedly missing in the approach of the Kela left, who seem to aspire for little beyond pension speed, thinly across the population and condiment gets handed out through the public distribution system even as the state cries out for solution to its problems of polluted rivers, destabilized hills and accumulating households and industrial waste. Congress empowerment groups, while the left's contribution to the decline of the university was more the collateral damage of its obsession with leveling down the population, the Congress, which constitutes the greater part of the alternative to the left political parties, had a more direct role in the decline of not just higher education but education itself. The Congress has done by empowering caste and religious groups who virtually own educational institutions. The original sin, so to speak, was committed in the late 1950 when the Congress Party encouraged these groups to oppose the education reforms initiated by the government of EMS Nambudiri, but it is not obvious that his education minister Joseph Montessori was particularly concerned with academic excellence, but he could see the pernicious influence of these communist groups. The staged accusations that followed were used by Jawaharlal Nehru in a disappointingly partition act to dismiss a democratically elected government having tasted victory. Caste, religion, and religious groups have never looked back after Nehru's death. The Congress was to joyfully interpret secularism as a profusion of religious in public space, and Kailash private educational institution capitalized on this. It is widely put about that they indulge in the practice of selling teaching appointments to the higher bidder. The latter may be unproven but rumored. Estimates of how much the last zoology lectureship fetched severe serves to keep suspicion alive. The apotheosis of the Congress Party's approach to education in Kerala in its history of appointing as a minister of education legislators from sectarian parties confined to specific regions of the state. That this can be done so brazenly should be a source of shame in a democracy. At least Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has refused to do so, rejecting the practice of appointing vice chancellors according to the caste religion. But the left's weakness is their cadre, and so long as it rules the state, one cannot expect anyone but craven lawyers to make the cut. Between the strategies of communal mobilization and the adherence to political ideologies, respectively practiced by Kailash to main political formations, the higher education sector did rudderless, no will, As I have stated, the true purpose of university is to hold a mirror up to society, but the claim of pursuing this goal does not mean that our youth should not receive the education that they deserve. What protocols exist to see the instruction is of the highest international class, that new institutions or even programs are started only when there is a capacity to deliver excellence, and that heads of institutions have demonstrated intellectual leadership and commitment to democratic practice. Over the past 50 years we have become far richer, and both the disciplinary knowledge and awareness of global best practices in the administration of education are easily accessible. It is just that there is no will in Kerala to leverage this knowledge. While structural barriers to improving the state of higher education in Kerala, which I have outlined, exist workable solution that may be implemented with immediate effect. Exist two principles among them would be the institution of would be the institution of student evaluation of courses. These should be comprehensive without being extensive, revealing the distance from the global frontier of the institutional material, the quality of the instruction itself, and the attention paid to learning outcome. This information must be made public as is the case in public institution in the United States. In an IT enabled environment, this should not be difficult to achieve. It will turn students into stakeholders, encourage teachers to give up their best, and make administrators public and private accountable. So we have covered uh, editorial page also, and first way some important news also. If we have time, so in 5 minutes we can cover some important news headings. Should vaccination be made mandatory? While some rules can be enforced to ensure coverage, it is important to focus on awareness. Yes. Question answer. Legacy of the printed word. When a reporter finds a loyal reader at an unexpected place, it is memory to be treasured. Two in the three Indians believed a third COVID-19 wave will be here. Survey. Getting Muji freed. Okay. News. Prime Minister puts off UAE visit. Already we have seen in the first front page of the Hindu newspaper of today. Inking of Delhi Abu Dhabi Limited free trade agreement likely to be delayed. Poll bonds open for sale from January 127. Lose vision in UP after fall surgery. Decision on vaccine for precaution dose soon. Yes. Party against to putting off UP elections. It's easy. UPSPA extended by 6 months in Nagaland. Yes, we have already seen. Government tells NIA to probe six for justice member. Agency may send a team to Germany. News came to support the marginalized. Punjab deliberated not arresting Majithia. Each action going to be limited to an FI up to make Goa candidates sign affidavits to avoid the defections. Okay, three more GMs militant killed in Kashmir. Twin overnight operation led to killing of six. China is huge named for 15th place in Arunachal. We have already seen. In front page, father of Hyderpora victims moves code at he seeks son's body for final rights. Okay. Sailor airlifted from INS Kesri for treatment. Okay. PM misusing government events in UP Congress. Previous government delayed projects. Modi in Uttarakhand PM said BJP works with a split of service. Oh, okay. As practices appeasements, BJP leaders say a few Muslim leaders ran the administration during the SP government. Okay. Pay GST compensation for my 5 more years. States demand met at pre-budget talks. Cash seized from Pius Jain not treated as turnover. DGGI. Congress slams UPSPA extension in Nagaland. It calls for United States to seek repeal. Help out MOC mock inmates, Sage Odisha. Yeah. India reports over 10,000 cases a day again of 13,154 COVID-19 cases, 961 confirmed to be Omicron variant. Health officer concerned at a sudden rise in infection. Covaxin safe for children, Sage Bharat Biotech. No serious reactions found in trials. Okay. Um, Let men get married at 18, clear to government. Banks must pay back customers their money on demand. Says Supreme Court relationship with customer is that of debated creditor. Goel reviews oxygen availability. Academy announces award in 20 language. Anuradha Sharma Pujari, Namita Gokhale among winners. Okay. Basil Rajapaksa coming for vibrant Gujarat summit on January 10. Sri Lanka minister may hold talks with Modi. Pro-Pakistan exit Tamil Nadu minister intensifies. Okay. China ministers to visit Maldives, Sri Lanka amid Ukraine crisis between Putin to hold and on the call US president to press for a diplomatic path. China minister to visit Maldives, Sri Lanka. The trip by Wang Yi underlines Beijing's growing economic and security stakes in the Indian Ocean region. Okay, Taliban chief orders fighters not to punish former regime members. Iran announces new space launch amid nuclear talks. The Simro satellite launcher carried three research cargoes into space. The defense ministry said. British British socialite convicted in Epstein sex abuse case. Max valued girls for the late financier. Okay, Myanmar jail Suyuki ads for sedition. Israel has become first country to offer food dose. Okay, it's right. Foreign car makers are keen on Ford plant, says Tamil Nadu minister. Early stage conversations are going on. Government is facilitating talks. Thena Rasu. Edible oil firms have cut prices by 15 to 20%. Pandey government reduced duty to almost zero. RBI extends KYC deadline to 31st March. India to Australia interim FTA talks to close soon. Final pay act by end 2022 Sage Ministry and MDC reduces iron ore prices. NTPC renewable energy to float tender for 3 gigawatt by February to 15,000 crore project includes better storage system. Rupees up spurs 29 paise against dollar. Okay. Uh, IRDAI retains LIC New India as a DCIL's unified license to cover voicemail, audio, tax, no new standard or license says dot government to accept chip unit application from January 1st and Granules at ADHD drug copycats US FDA note. Indigo gets a shareholders note for ROFR clause. New GST rates to push up garments prices. Prices may rise up to 7% from January 1. This is notable news. You can note it down. EPFO says no last date for e-nomination. Okay. Optimus sets price of Molnupiravir 630 rupee for a strip of 10 capsule. Okay, you can note it down. 63 rupee per tablet is the price of Molnupiravir capsule. Policy desert India breaches the superstitious. Okay. Almost Royce Taylor Covid BFC news 8. Okay, okay. So let's finish this news today newspaper reading. So I hope you have learned something new and hope you are enjoying this video. Please like this video and share this channel to the people as much as possible. You can share the your channel's link with your friends, relatives, and anywhere on social media, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere you can share. Please subscribe this channel, and if number of subscribers increase, we will continue to upload the upload with the vocabulary also along with the editorial reading. So we will update, we will improve our rating, and we will improve our quality of content day by day. So please share the channel, subscribe our channel, like this video, and thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day. Thank you. We will meet on 1st January 2022. Happy New Year in advance. Thank you.